Welcome to the garage on RidebuyPh. For our first ride this week, we have the BAIC B30e Dune, one of the hottest selling mid-size SUVs in the market today. And why not? I'll tell you why. Because sa presyo niya na 1.788 million, you get a hybrid drivetrain, you get all-wheel drive, and a lot of smart driving features that are unheard of at this price point. Let's start with the engine. So, like I said, hybrid siya. It is a 1.5-liter turbo gasoline engine paired with two electric motors. Isa sa harap na axle, isa sa likod, which makes it technically all-wheel drive. Now, you will be surprised at the engine output of this vehicle. It is 403 horsepower and 683 Newton meters of torque. My God, that is a lot of power and torque for something that is priced less than 2 million, diba? And the transmission is a 2-speed hybrid
with fuel efficiency of between 14 to 15 kilometers per liter, and in combination with its 51-liter fuel tank capacity, you will get more than 700 kilometers on a single tank of fuel.
That is because the gasoline engine also works as a range extender. The system is designed to prioritize using battery power most of the time, pero pag bumababa na yung charge at a certain level, that is only the time when the gasoline engine kicks in. So very nice use of technology to make very efficient use of gasoline. So let's do a quick walk around. As you can see, guapo siya. It looks very sophisticated, and if I'm being honest, let's be honest, it kind of looks like a certain British brand, but okay lang, guapo naman talaga siya. I especially like the treatment of the light bar here. If I'm not mistaken, these are adaptive headlights. They are also designed to switch off the high beams pag may nakatapat na ibang ilaw, para hindi ka nakasilo ng mga parating na mga ibang sasakyan. You going over to the side, you will see that it has practical plastic body cladding here to protect the fenders, the wheel arches. Although medyo discreet siya, hindi siya nakaangat. So it looks nice, and may reflectors pa siya, or yeah, these are reflectors also to help aid visibility. The tires are 19-inch all-season rubber by GTI. So along with the ground clearance of about 215 millimeters, this is a respectable number for light off-roading. Now, if you just looking at it, you already know that the approach, departure, and breakover angles are not fantastic. This is not like a Jeep Wrangler, okay? So, pero for mga light trails like where we are now, it's fine. Hindi yan sasayad, hindi yan sasabit. And if you go here, you will see that it has accessories. This is called the Vanguard accessory kit. So you get this little step ladder here, so you can more easily reach the roof rack. Sa likod, meron din hitch mount here. And I believe you can order these from the dealership. Pero if you have a more specific need for your overlanding requirements, I suggest maybe just get the car as is and then diretso ka na to a specialist shop para mas custom built yung overland setup mo. Alright, now let's go for a drive. Okay. Oh, you know, this is a very nice cockpit, very classy. Hindi siya mukhang cheap. I mean, like, usually kasi pag sinabi mo China, ang stereotype, medyo cheap yan or mumurahin lang yung mga materials na ginamit. But if you step inside here, I dare you to step inside this car and tell me that it is a cheap car. It is affordable for what it is, but it's not cheap. So come closer and I'll point out some important details for you. The cockpit of the B30e is designed to be very minimalist, so in a way that's good because it presents a very clean and clutter-free cockpit. But in a way, medyo may konting negative din yan because for something that's you will probably take off-road once in a while, gusto mo yung mga major controls ka na kita mo kaagad. Let me explain. So with this car, almost all of the functions you will want to access can only be reached here on this 14-inch infotainment display. Now, this is a nice display, maganda siya, maganda tingnan, malinis, medyo integrated siya. Kaya lang problema dyan, lahat nandyan. Yung aircon nandito, yung CarPlay mo, hahanapin mo pa dito. And in fairness, the wireless CarPlay connects pretty easily, pero kailangan kabisado mo yung controls. Kasi pag hindi, medyo malilito-lito ka doon sa mga apps na nandito. And then, for example, if I want to turn off or turn on certain driving assist functions, isipin ko ba, saan bang app yun? Okay, so punta tayo dito sa car. And then next, this looks like a car icon, so probably this one. So there, from this screen, from this menu, you can adjust the energy recovery level, yung regenerative braking niya. Dito yung auto hold, yung hill descent control. Normally, sa mga ibang sasakyan, these would be dedicated buttons here in the center console. But here, to be able to access it, you have to go through it here. But what if you're using CarPlay? So iba yung menu mo, hanapin mo na naman siya. Hindi siya mabilis ma-access. That's what I'm saying. Having said that, there are a lot of customizable features. You can choose how the car will lock itself, what speed, or if to not unlock at all. You can adjust the way the lights will turn on and turn off, how long. May mga sound effects pa siya kung gusto mo nyo. Pagbukas mo ng pinto, may sound effect siya. Kung ayaw mo, diwag. With the driving modes, you can choose between eco or comfort. You can turn off or turn on the stability control. May wireless charging. Driver assistance, it has intelligent cruise control or adaptive cruise. Forward assist, it has front collision warning. Siya yung mag-a-alarm siya pag malapit ka na babangga, and then kung hindi pa rin napakan yung preno, siya mismo titigil para sa'yo. A word of warning for you, this is not a self-driving car, okay? Hanggat maaari, you should step on the brake yourself. Wag mong asahan lahat palaging sensors ng kotse, kasi paano kung may fault pala? Eh di mababangga ka talaga. So always be aware, don't trust the car 100%. Moving on, it also has a lane keeping assist system. Most people like it. Ako, I try to disable it because I find it very distracting. Meron din siyang emergency lane keeping. May warning system siya. For your sides, you have lane change assist, door open warning, rear collision warning, rear cross traffic alert, rear cross traffic braking, and intelligent high beams like I mentioned earlier. So yung advanced driver aids very comprehensive. Aside from that, you get a full power moonroof. Although sa totoo lang, sobrang init ngayon, I would rather just keep it closed. One quirk that I found really funny, kasi nung nakuha ko ito yung sasakyan, yung kailangan ko mag-double park saglit, hindi ko mahanap na yung hazard light. Normally, di ba, may triangle yan, may button dyan lang yan. Ang tagal namin hinahanap. Finally, baka naman wala talaga. Finally, nahanap, ginugol namin. Ang sabi ni Google, nandito pala siya. Yan, no? So, if your cabin lights are not on, it's very hard to see kasi the triangle is very dark. The only way it will really light up is if you turn on the headlights. There you go. Or pag madalim na, tapos naka-auto on, iilaw na lahat. Diyan, lalabas na yung backlit. I think that is a design error because as hazard light is a very important button to use in an emergency. And usually with Japanese cars, it's a big red button right there on the dashboard. So that's one fault na medyo na overlook yata ng mga engineer ng bike. Pero kung bibili ka naman nito, just remember where the hazard button is. Then moving on, let's go to the instrument panel. So again, you get a full digital panel here. So left one is for your speedometer. The right part of the screen, you can shuffle between monitoring your hybrid engagement. You can use it for your tachometer, your engine temperature, odometer, may trip meter din yan syempre. And here you can see yung fuel consumption mo. I've been consuming 7.5 liters for every 100 kilometers. So that's around, if I'm not mistaken, that's around 11 to 12 kilometers per liter. That's pretty good, considering puro traffic yung driving ko lately. Other things, so I also like that, although of course maraming plastic talaga sa mga dashboard ngayon, maganda yung selection nila ng mga panels. So yung middle panel na to, instead of just using a plain flat panel, may striation siya para may texture. And then this part here, itong maliit na trench, actually pwede siyang patungan ng telepono ng pasahero mo. Good idea. This is a wireless charging panel, by the way, this one. Then you have another shelf here sa ilalim for a small bag or camera, if you bring that along when you drive. Then you have some orange stitching here with some leather or synthetic leather on the armrest. Ito nga, ang galing, parang may button pa siya dito, parang sa mga maleta. Very nice. This center storage has a removable layer. I don't know what you call it, a removable panel. So here, mababaw siya, but if you remove it, malalim na. And may vent siya, so you can actually store a drink here. May vent siya from the aircon. Pretty cool. So very thoughtfully designed cabin. A few misses here and there, but not a deal breaker for me. Oh, and one last thing. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle. It is not a four-wheel drive vehicle. There's a difference between the two. What do I mean with that? Because it has two electric motors, one for the front axle, one for the back, that gives it all-wheel drive, all-wheel drive traction. However, you cannot permanently lock either axle all the time like a true 4x4 vehicle. So, if your plan is to go rock hopping o iaakit mo ng Beer O'Clock Hill, mga ganon, don't, because I don't think it's advisable for this kind of car. But for most types of surfaces where a real user, a lifestyle owner would use it to go camping, to access a beach that's off the trail, kayang-kaya yan. And you can shift through the modes with this dial here. Again, pag first time user ka, hula mo, ano kaya function ng dial na to? So the only way to find out is to turn it, and when you do, that's when you realize you are now switching to the various modes. So you turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, muddy road, sand, snow, comfort, eco, sport. So that basically tells the drivetrain how much power to apportion to which axle. So very idiot proof. So now, let's take it for a drive. Okay, so right away, I can tell one of the benefits to having a monocoque chassis like the B30e is that it's very solid and flex-free. Lalo na here, we're on a light trail, so normally kung ladder frame to, marinig mo na yung nagfe-flex yung mga ganun yung kaha. Here, it's a unibody, so very solid. Hindi nagfe-flex yung chassis. So it's a very good feeling of quality. Ang isa pang nakakatulong dyan is this suspension is all independent. It has front struts up front and a rear multi-link system at the back. So it's very comfortable. So malambot siya, which is good of course, pero yung rebound niya is very disciplined. So hindi kayong tuloy-tuloy na para ka nasa para ka nasa vapor. So hindi siya nakakahilo gamitin. It's very plush. It actually feels like a parang na-tune ng mga European. Very refined. Right now, we're on a default mode, which is comfort mode. So all-wheel drive siya, but most of the power, I think, is being directed to the front. Yeah. Kasi there's a graph here that shows you which motor is being used and saan nanggagaling yung energy niya. So right now, we're using battery power, and it is driving the front wheels. Pero if I want to go a little bit faster, then dyan papalo yung gas engine. But right now, we have enough battery power to just go use the front axle. Ang downside lang ng medyo malaking SUV, of course, is when you're on a narrow trail. Hindi mo talaga may iwasan na medyo tatama siya sa mga branches kasi malapad talaga. Okay. So even if I go faster here in this bumpy road, you can see the very stable yung ride. And that's really because of down to the suspension. It's very nice, sophisticated suspension. Which is, I think, to be expected because BAIC made a reputation for making trucks in the first place. So, ang dami na experience here on how to make good riding trucks. Right, so, we're turning right to Danghari. So, a bit of on-road naman tayo. So, may traffic ngayon, so we can't really feel the full power of the drivetrain. But it's right there. Throttle response is very smooth and very refined, so hindi siya jerky na mabibigla ka because 403 horsepower is a lot for any person to have to deal with, especially with 600 plus Newton meters of torque. Pag hindi maganda yung calibration niyan, it's actually can be jerky. Pero here in comfort mode, may konting delaying response para mapipino mo yung modulation ng accelerator. But if you step on the throttle all the way, you can really feel that acceleration, parang aeroplano. Now, I don't know if you can hear it, but because this car has the aftermarket roof rack, medyo humuhuni siya. because of the drag that it creates. I don't know if you can hear it right now. You can hear that. There. Sumisipol siya. So, minor thing, pero I guess if mga nag-over landing, it's really to be expected naman. As for the other traits of the car, again, I said suspension is very refined. So is the steering, very smooth and relaxing to drive. Strong brakes, especially since may regenerative braking ka din naman. Visibility is good all around. You can see all around me. Big windows, very few blind spots, and of course, because you have ADAS, you get the sensors to help you see yung mga blind spots mo. See through the blind spot. Lalo na it has this around view monitor also. Overall, very, very nice car to drive. Right now, I'm liking the car a lot. Ergonomically, there's hardly anything to fault except maybe again the over dependence on the infotainment screen. But otherwise, pag kabisado mo naman lahat, it should be just a minor problem, minor thing. Okay, so here, let's put it in sport. Snow, sand, muddy, wading, so yun, sport. So, let's see from a standing start. Okay, standing start muna tayo. We're in sport. Foot on the brake. So there's no brake torquing now with these modern cars. No, you just step on the gas like this. Wow, may wheel spin ka agad. So, wow. Oh, that's nice. So we just hit 100 kilometers per hour in under about 7 seconds. That's pretty impressive for a sub 2 million peso SUV. Now, you know, not many people will actually need that much power, pero for me, if you're an enthusiast, I'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Kaya minsan masarap din naman talaga maglaro-laro minsan eh. As long as you know what you're doing. I mean, don't do it na kung sa may mga traffic talaga. Eh, kalokohan na yon. But for me, having this much power, it's very useful because you can overtake quickly, get it over with. You can accelerate uphill na walang issue. At the same time, because it's a hybrid and gas pa siya, matipid siya. So, gamitin kahit na mahataw ka minsan-minsan. So, you don't really lose anything, di ba? So, there. I think BAIC has really hit a home run with this SUV. B30e 4x4. I mean, if you have the cash to spare between the 4x2 and the 4x4, I think just get the 4x4. Para wala ka nang mamimiss na features. Alright, so okay siya i-drive, but now how is it kung pasahero ka naman? And actually, I can say, it's not bad. Maluwag siya. I'm 5'8", there is a lot of legroom and knee room here. If you're 6-footer, wag ka lang Shaquille O'Neal type o LeBron. Kaya yan. You had a good angle with the seat back, so it's comfortable. Hindi siya sobrang knees up yung position. So it's very roomy. Let's see if I can recline the seat belt. The seat. Kaya ba? No. So medyo fixed lang yung angle ng seat back sa likod. Hindi mo siya pwede ihiga. Yun lang. However, I like the upholstery. May perforation siya dito, so it's more breathable. Sana lang they could have chosen fabric upholstery kasi ang sobrang init ng panahon sa atin. I really think fabric is more ideal for cabin upholstery. Now, the seats here, as you can see, as usual, as expected, they can fold 60-40. So the release is just right here. So it's not really a completely flat setup. Medyo nakaangat siya. So that kind of limits the... wait. I stand corrected. If you pull here, there you go. And then you push the pull. Now you can fold the seats completely flat. So, pull. So there you have it. You can fold and tumble the rear seat. So that kind of makes up for the limitation na 5-seater lang siya. It's not a 3-row 7-passenger seat like a Fortuner or a Montero. Yun lang. So let's check the back. yung cargo volume nito. So it has a power tailgate. Paano mo sabihin? There. To open it, yes, this button here. So even without folding down the rear seats, you can see maluwag siya. And it has a nice removable mat here para hindi madumihan yung carpet, yung upholstery. You get a 220 volt, 150 watt outlet here for accessories, for camping accessories. You also get a 12 volt, 120 watt outlet here. Very thoughtful. This is actually a fold-out picnic table. So when you do, it saves you the trouble of bringing a separate table. So yung fold-out picnic table here is, I mean, yung expectation mo, hindi naman to pang buffet siguro, no? Mababa lang siya na picnic table. At least meron kang nagagamit. Na hindi ka na kailangan magdala ng mas malaki pa unless kailangan mo talaga yung malaki. So, yung legs niya are stored here sa ilalim near the tire repair kit. By the way, this car doesn't have a spare tire because the space is taken up by the battery. That's okay, there's a tire repair kit. So it's kind of easy to use and more efficient. Okay. So just screw these in. This isn't a heavy duty table, okay? Pero kung magaan lang naman yung mga gamit mo, pwede na siya. There you go. So, it's a very thoughtful design touch. And it's easy to pack away when you're done. So just do the reverse. Unscrew the legs, fold it in, you're gone. All right, now that is one very impressive ride. You know, for a little under 2 million, the BAIC B30e Dune 4x4 is really an amazing value for money. You get a very potent and fuel-efficient hybrid drivetrain. You get a chassis that's very refined, very comfortable. You get a cabin that's so comfortable, you know, you can do a long road trip in it and have no complaints as long as 5 lang kayo, max. And you can do so many things with it because it's all-wheel drive. So hindi ka masyado matatakot na dalhin sa medyo madulas-dulas o medyo maputik. You know, it's not a hardcore 4-wheel drive, but for most people, this is all you really need. Guys, if you want a very capable SUV that has very low emissions, na matipid sa gas, pero malakas, really, check out the BAIC B30e Dune. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments.